Demonstrations broke out in China's Tianjin University Thursday night. Students were heard shouting "Down with bureaucracy" amid demands that they be allowed to leave the shuttered campus and go home. Dozens of police officers were sent to the site to stamp out the protest. And this on the eve of one of the most sensitive anniversaries in China. Check it out.
Following several successful protests in Beijing universities, another erupted in Tianjin University Thursday night. The city's strict zero COVID-19 rules mean students have been stuck on campus and blocked from going home. Thursday, hundreds of them assembled on campus to protest, yelling, "Let me go home." The student protest marked a decision to take the mass appeal route, rather than addressing concerns more quietly through representatives and school leaders. More worrisome for Chinese officials, the latest protest featured two new slogans, "Down with formalism" and "Down with bureaucracy." What's meant by formalism? It's a rare term in Western nations, but a relatively common one in authoritarian countries. Chinese affairs analyst Tang Jingwan explains that the so-called formalism refers to when situations or events are scripted or prearranged for a certain outcome. Students have complained about the months-long lockdown on campus, especially because no new infection cases have been found in the area. They also say life on campus has gotten hard, with skyrocketing prices for essential goods and depression rates rising. Local authorities ordered all Tianjin students to shelter in place for 3 days starting Friday and to wait for further instructions. Students were told they will be confined to campus until the end of the year. Residents are prohibited from moving their vehicles. Grocery stores, pharmacies, and food markets are the only shops that remain open. As for the university protests, posters declare the students' demands. 1, that they will be allowed to go home. And 2, that those who participated in the protests not be held accountable or punished. They reportedly plan to march again on Saturday to keep up the pressure on school authorities.
Two other major cities, Beijing and Shanghai, also saw multiple protests in recent weeks. They broke out both in residential areas and on college campuses. The demonstrations attracted widespread attention, especially because the anniversary of one of China's most sensitive incidents is around the corner, the June 4th Tiananmen Square massacre. It marked the final day of the 1989 Tiananmen Square protests. Military troops opened fire on demonstrators, who were largely unarmed college students asking for democracy and freedom. Thousands were killed.